Okay, in today's video, we're going to talk about threes, okay? 3 life path or 3 birth number, okay? Threes, I want you to know you are funny, okay? You are the communicator. Now, if you look at the vast majority of people that are the best communicators, okay? Like famous speakers, they're usually 3s or 11s. They're usually 3 life paths or 11 life paths. People that have some of the best podcasts out there are 3s and 11s. 3 life path, 3 birth number. Let me tell you something right now. You are funny, and you know it. You know that you're just a funny, you are the entertainer. Now, I'm going to tell you something very honestly, and I tell this to a lot of my 11s too. When you can actually entertain, when you actually know how to talk, boy oh boy are you dangerous. Boy oh boy are you dangerous. Look at the people that have led revolutions, that have revolutionized the world, that have made major changes, that have made a ripple effect in society. Those people knew how to use their words. If you can actually use your words, if you could linguistically see, what ends up happening is that you are and in this video, we're going to talk about the dark side of 3s too. So stay in tune, okay? Now, let's first talk about some of like the very big talents that you guys have, okay? You guys are extremely, like, you guys are very creative, okay? Now, when you're a 3 life path, you're not just thinking one way or one job or like one path. You're thinking like, you could be thinking like multiple avenues. You could be thinking like multiple ways of doing certain things. And because you have that creativity in you, and Albert Einstein said that creativity is much more important than intelligence, and I think I'm paraphrasing him, but he talked about the importance of creativity. I personally think that 3 is one of the luckiest number. Like, just being super honest, like, you guys are like one of the luckiest people. You guys are the people that can just get a whole crowd together. You can just get like you are kind of like, you're like the type of person that's like kind of like the lifeline of the party. Like, if you're in the party, if you're in the mix, it's fun. If you're not in the mix, like, people, like, it's kind of like a weird vibe. Like, people are like, they're happy, but at the same time, it's like, it gets a little strange when you're not there. When you're there, it just becomes very lively, okay? Man, what those numbers do, this channel is it's mostly about numbers, okay? So this is why a lot of people are like, how did you know this? Rarely have spoken to them. Like, it's your numbers, okay? This is like fascinating. It is fascinating. I know, okay? Now, look, for 3s, like, I'll tell you what. For you, the best thing is learning new things. I just saw 33. Oh my God. If you're learning new things, you're going to feel much more happier in your life, okay? You like to learn new things. You like to dwell into newer topics, into different topics, okay? You're not just a person that's like completely stuck on one thing. You like to learn new things. For 3 life paths, I'm going to always tell you, the best way I feel like you should, like, if you want to really grow, is to learn new things. Maybe learn a new hobby. If you're a 3, maybe if you don't go to the gym, try going to the gym, okay? If you haven't learned a certain language, try to learn a certain language. If you are a 3, I would highly, like, personally, like, if I was a 3, I would just focus a lot more on communication. Like, I would just focus a lot, because that's the thing is, like, you're so gifted with communicating. If you can learn how to communicate, you could really, 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 really go far in your life. You could really go far in your life, okay? You're a performer, okay? When you think about, okay, so now that I'm thinking about 3 right now, I'm thinking of you guys as knowing how to perform. So you're the type of person, like, you are the type of person that it, like, when you are told to, like, perform in front of a certain audience with who you're comfortable with, you can easily perform, whether you're at a family event, whether you're at a workers event, or you're with your co-workers or whatever. You are able to put out a performance. You are able to talk to them in a way where they're like, wow, like something very talented about this person. Like this person, and again, 3 is one of the luckiest number. Okay, it is one of the luckiest number. I truly believe that. Okay. Now, 3 is very much related to Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Okay. Now, when you're a 3, I'm being very honest. I'm being very honest. Now, if you are not expanding, there's going to be a part of you which is going to really not feel the best. And when you're a 3, I would honestly recommend all 3s to be very, if you're a 3 and you're isolated, you're very, like, you try to keep yourself isolated, boy oh boy, am I telling you, that's going to get to you very fast. For 3s, that's like a major no. Now, I do understand if you need to take like a couple of days alone, or maybe a weekend alone, or maybe at max like a week alone. See, now that loner energy 7. 7s are happy to just be alone. If you're a 7, you have no problem being alone at all. You're like, oh, okay, I'll be alone. No problem. Like, parents are like, oh, we're leaving you, we're going. You're like, go, bye. But 3, you're the type of person, you're like, no, I actually want to be out and about, right? So I feel like the best thing you could do is be with people and just like sharpen your communication skills. Now, one thing I'll tell you, as like, if you're a 3, here's a couple of things. Now, let's talk a little bit about the darker side, okay? You might talk a lot more than you listen, okay? Don't ask how I know this, okay? You might be talking a lot more than you listen. If you're a 3 and you're actually like, if you actually know, like, you know what I'm talking about, okay? That's something that you might want to focus on improving. Because what ends up happening is that you're with a group of people and you're talking so much that the other person might never want to meet you again, because they're like, they might feel like, and it definitely might not be like that, but you might give them an impression that you're very just all about yourself. And because they feel like that, they could be like, it could come into some people's minds where they just don't want to hang out with you anymore, because all you're doing is talking about yourself. Now, a very proper 3, I would say, a one that has evolved, would learn how to be a good listener. That's another thing. If you are not a good listener as a 3, that could be your downfall. Because even when you're gathering information, even though you want to communicate, but if you are not communicating with knowledge, and to gain knowledge, you need to sit down and listen sometimes. You need to just like really observe your thoughts. Like, even sometimes, like, even if you want to meditate or go in nature, whatever you want to do, you have to be in silence for a bit, or you need to sit down with a paper and pen and just like note down things, right? Or if you're meeting a person that is teaching you certain things, you need to just sit down and listen, okay? So that's that, okay? Now, you as a 3, here's what it might, there could be some form of like, there could be some form of doubt in yourself when you're a 3. Now, that doubt could come from people that have told you, so here's where that doubt could really come from. because you're jolly, because you are funny, there could have been people that came in your life and they probably would have told you that, oh, no, like, don't do this, be like that, because like that's what happens to a lot of threes. Like that's what happens to a lot of threes, where they're told to just be quiet, right? Because they talk a lot, right? But that could actually get into your subconscious mind, and you could be like scattered with self-doubt. So that self-doubt is something to be observed, okay? If you could successfully observe that self-doubt and just focus on like really putting in the work and the effort to like listening and observing yourself and getting to know thyself, because like one of the greatest things you could ever do in your life is to get to know thyself. If you could really get to know thyself, you're winning, and I'm telling you. All that being said, my channel is about numbers. A lot of it is about numbers, and it's about like spiritual stuff. These things are very spiritual. I'm just 11, okay? Now I'm going to be posting more about other numbers, and I might be posting more about threes, so you can stay in tune. You could stay tuned to my channel, okay? And I would say, if you want to get to know other people, go through different numbers and learn different numbers. Learn why your mother might be the way she is, your sibling might be the way they are, your coworkers might be the way they are. I always tell people, I'm like, numerology is like psychology on steroids. All that being said, have yourself a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are.